tell chat to refresh. Just like I'm going to do. Yeah, my internet's been flaky, so we'll have to have the chat folks tell us if I'm lagging like crazy tonight. You know, Dave sent me an incoherent text. I have no idea what he's talking about. So,
what did he say?
Something about his wife. I don't know.
Oh, maybe you don't want to.
I just something about be gentle with. Oh no, hang on. Pro Wrestling X Dave has just appeared in the chat. Good lord, I'll keep an eye out here. Maybe you can explain that cryptic text that he sent me. Something about being gentle with his wife. I'm like, what? Maybe they took too much blood.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, for context. Sorry, gang. Dave was out getting... I'm sorry, forgetting that we're actually live here. Yeah, sorry, Dave was off getting some blood work done.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, guys. Oh, man, it's going to be one of those chats tonight, gang. Sorry. Yeah, welcome for those who are new. Yeah, welcome to the Gong Show. Our boy Alex here is... Cola is... what are you working on tonight?
I'm gonna be making some tattoos for the guy, for Grimhold.
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm because you know you guys all care. Dave just he's off site and he keeps texting me stuff, and the term was it was not wife, it was Wi-Fi.
That's
so
hilarious.
He said, "Oh no, I meant to type Wi-Fi, not wife." So I was like, you know. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, guys. I'm easily distracted tonight. There's too many shiny things that I'm looking at on my screen. So yeah, we got a nice little group here tonight. Looks like we've got... well, so now, wait a minute. So how is Pro Wrestling X Dave in here right now if he's not home yet? I don't know. The wonders technology, something. But,
is there a Twitch app?
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. So... yeah, I think most everybody in here is familiar with us. I think we got maybe if you're a newbie tonight, just give us a little shout in chat. But yeah, for those who are new, we're Pro Wrestling X, independent PC video game currently available on Steam Early Access. And on Tuesday nights, we kind of get together and show off the latest and greatest development that we're working on. And I'm trying to see. Alex, are you still broadcasting your screen there? You have completely frozen.
Oh, yeah, I believe I should be.
Because you are right now. You're like paused in midstream of the one of your brushings, to use a real technical term. You may want to start and stop that.
Okay.
Unless it's on my end here. Let me see if it's on my end. Yeah, the screen has stopped sharing. I don't know if it's my bandwidth. I'm wondering if it's my bandwidth is really bad tonight.
Well, I just restarted, so...
Oh, okay. There we go. We're back. We're back in business. I think. Yeah, I can see your stuff moving now. Okay, cool. Yep, we're good. Yeah, he's frozen. Yeah, stream just started. Okay, yeah, we're good. Yep, we're good. Yeah, sorry about that, gang. It said it's entirely could be on my end too. Let me know if quality sounds like crap tonight. I have been plagued with some internet issues over the past couple of days, but that's all right. Let us know if it sounds really bad. Jam Tart is not in here yet. Jam Tart was getting himself some blood work done. He's super fired up. For those who are veterans of the chat, and Dave's knee surgery has finally been scheduled. He's getting all excited for that. So they got to do the whole rigmarole with blood tests and all that kind of stuff. And so he's trying to go through all the rigmarole that he's got to go through. And he's like, I don't care if they better not cancel that surgery on me one more time. So he's hopping through all the stuff, and he should be in here pretty soon. So. Yeah, Alex is doing tattoo work here tonight. I'm very interested to see where this is going. I've been hogging the display for the last couple of chats with gameplay tonight, and I thought you guys have already seen a lot of the new game stuff, so I might pop it open in the corner for a little bit, but for the most part I was going to let his art shine tonight. Yep, Grimhold. Still working on Grimhold. We're putting on the finishing touches of all these guys, and God, this character's really starting to come together.
Yeah, man. I thought, he needs tattoos. I didn't really, it hasn't been in the design or anything like that, but I don't know. I just wanted to do it, I guess.
No, that's cool, man. I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, but it seems like tats, like nobody's coming out without tattoos these days. I don't know if it's just like a generational thing where,
oh yeah,
people of a certain generation, like that's how it's been determined that they're like doing markers in their life now. Maybe that's just kind of how it always been. It just seems like it's more prevalent now than it has been in the last 20 years. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't actually have any myself.
I don't know. I'm a pansy. I would maybe the most I would ever get. I would probably get a 1-up mushroom, just because that's like kind of like my gimmick, the retro game kind of deal, but those are small. Yeah. The heavy ink, I don't know, man. Anyone hyped for Brocktober? Yeah, I'm hyped for it. I want to see him on Stone Cold's podcast. They announced at the last pay-per-view that Brock's doing a big hullabaloo for the whole month, where he's main eventing at Madison Square Garden against the Big Show, and that's going to be on the WWE Network. And he's going to be on Stone Cold's podcast, which I think is very, very interesting. But I think he's doing something else too. So, housewives have more tats than bikers had in the '80s. I think that's totally true, though. It seems like it is true. Like I said, you kids and your hip hop music and your tattoos. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's the other thing is it's going to be Brock Taker at Hell in a Cell, kind of the best of three, or the trilogy is going to end hopefully. Although it's going to be very interesting to see if what they do for Mania this year. I personally think it's going to be Brock versus Rock. They got 115,000 seats to fill. So I think those are the only two heavy hitters that could even possibly get in the mix to fill that kind of a stadium. But I could be wrong.
No, that's fair guess.
Yeah, Joe said the same thing, especially when they need to fill Cowboy Stadium. I got to tell you, gang, you guys have heard me say it in the chat. I think I'm making the run this year. I've never been, but this is probably my last chance to ever see Undertaker's entrance live. I can't imagine him sticking around much longer, so I think I want to make the run this year, and I think Dallas will be pretty amazing. I'm actually kind of looking more forward to all the indie shows that kind of pop up, around that weekend. I think that'll be really fun too. But boy, I'll bet you can get tired in a hurry. What do you get going on in the background here, Cola?
Me, my fiance is watching Friends.
Oh, come on,
and
man.
Giggling.
You've got to do better than that, Friends. Although the first year of Friends was good, but man, I don't know. The rest of them just never did much for me. Yeah, gang, we had it pop up in chat. Who saw the Sting match this weekend? And has anybody heard any updates on him? I'm pissed off that WWE didn't even acknowledge his injury on TV last night.
Really? That's
didn't even acknowledge it. They edited out the finish. They just showed the roll up for the pin and didn't even acknowledge the fact that he might be just completely screwed up. I haven't heard anything official, but I was really upset that they never even acknowledged it last night. So that's kind of disrespect. For those who missed it, he was taking on Seth Rollins in the main event last night. not last night, but Sunday night in that pay-per-view. I forget which one it was. They all start blending together after a while. And he was doing great. He was hanging with them, because Seth Rollins is a pretty physical worker and does a lot of pretty crazy moves. And Sting was holding his own for wrestling the guy half his age, but right towards the end, you could probably tell that they maybe had like another 5-10 minutes, probably another 5 minutes left in the match. Seth gave him one of those buckle bombs, where it's like a power bomb, only he throws him right into the turnbuckle, and Sting's neck snapped back pretty hard. And he kind of tried to charge out of the corner like he was going to, kind of like what Flair used to do, where he used to, set him up and chop him in the corner, and Sting would just, flex and stand there like it didn't hurt. And Sting tried that, and he kind of he completely collapsed. It was really hard to watch, and you could just tell he was completely out on his feet, like completely knocked cold, and had no idea where he was. And doctors got in the ring, and Seth was doing, heel tactics like crazy to try to, give Sting some time to recover, and they ended up just going straight to a finish. But I thought he was in deep trouble. Yeah, that's the thing. I thought Sting really could go. And I was kind of talking with Cola here before the chat that it just seems like the type of wrestling that is expected out of people now. Like Sting would have never had to take a move like that back in the day. Something that physically intense. And I think it's just a different game than it is now, and it's going to be hard for these guys to have long careers, I think. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Arachnid Soul. I really hope. I hope it's okay. Although, hey, somebody said shame on those years wasted in TNA. He had a pretty fun run in TNA. He when he went to the Joker Sting, that was kind of a cool gimmick. At least visually, he's always had a pretty good knack for coming up, kind of reinventing some stuff. And I thought his Joker Sting persona was actually pretty cool. Yes, 56 years old. Couldn't believe it. Yeah, and he did like a big suicide dive to the outside off the top rope. I was like, damn, brother can still go, and the crowd was chanting, "You still got it, you still got it," and it was fun. It was fun to watch. Like I said, it was a great match. Seth Rollins is a phenomenal worker, and he was doing great out there, and he was making Sting look like $1 million. But yeah, some of those moves are just so dangerous, man. And it makes you think. I mean, Seth's already had I know he's already had one move banned. And it's entirely possible.
It sucks that move's been banned.
Well, it's the curb stomp that got banned.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that one was that bad.
No. Yeah. Well, he just screwed it up one time, right? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah.
Against,
Well, I think that's probably all it takes. Like somebody just starts asking the hard question. But I thought of all of those. I mean, you're not. I don't know. It doesn't look nearly as bad. I guess if you miss, you're gonna mess the guy up pretty bad. But it seems like the buckle bomb's a hell of a lot worse.
But that's been around a while. That one.
Yeah, he's been using that, and a few other wrestlers have used it over the years, but nobody regular that I can think of. You got Michael Elgin, that kind of used it as his finisher, but he didn't do it as a running move. Seth Rollins runs. I forget what that power bomb is called. It's like is that the Dragon power bomb, or the one where Ultimo Dragon used it in No Mercy, or not No Mercy, but NWO World Tour, where he kind of runs and then he power bombs and ends up in a pinning position.
Sure.
It's
yeah.
But that's how Seth does his buckle bomb, whereas Elgin, it's just a straight bomb. Just throws him directly from the position. He doesn't do the running start. So trying to catch up with chat here. I honestly believe with the right booking, Seth Rollins can become the top guy like Cena. Hey, I think he's there right now as far as the heel side goes. I am totally buying Seth Rollins as like Weasley slimy heel guy. One of the few. Yeah, Liger Bomb. Tiger Bomb or Liger Bomb. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, chat.
Yep.
See, this is why I love chat. You guys are all on top of this stuff. I try, I really do, but it just I can't keep up sometimes. I got too many other things. But yeah, Elgin's a beast. I've just watched the Ring of Honor most recent television show on the weekend, the one that they show, and God, the guy is just so hard hitting. He's just like this, you know, if you forgive the term, that built like a brick shit house. You know, just like this fire plug. This short, stocky, total all muscle beast. You know, and he can move really well in the ring for being as big as he is. He's got a really nice deadlift superplex, where the guy is just standing on the ring apron. And he heads up to I guess he heads up to the second rope, but he deadlifts him over and dumps the superplex that way instead of positioning him up in the corner.
Oh yeah,
It's unbelievable strength. I mean, I've seen Cesaro try to pull it off, but Elgin, it's just amazing. It was funny the Raw last night. Cesaro pulled the old in-the-ring suplex on the Big Show. That was pretty impressive.
What?
Yeah, you know how you suplex the guy into the ring when he's standing outside the apron? Yeah,
okay.
So I mean, it was show assisted, obviously, but he's still gotta be able to kind of lift him and heave him over. It was pretty impressive. Of course, everybody was pissed off that they both got up slow and the show just went up and just punched him for the win. I'm kind of a Cesaro mark, and he was kind of getting over, but they keep jobbing him out over every week. I don't get it. So we'll see, but yeah, it has to be one of the strongest. Elgin has to be one of the strongest guys in wrestling. He's amazingly though. He's a world title match with Davey Richards that showed on. He's definitely legit. I guess he had a pretty good run over in Japan recently too, in one of those tournaments. I think it was a tournament, but they said he had several match of the year candidate type things. I hope you're right, Slateboard. Yeah, Cesaro is on the list of people that will get over regardless of how they try to prevent it. I hope you're right. I hope so. They've been trying to do kind of the Cesaro section and all that kind of stuff, and that's been kind of fun to see that kind of take off. But I don't know, man. The guy's like got a bunch of different languages, and he's got no legs. I mean, he skips leg day. You can tell he's got these skinny little legs.
Yeah, it's funny.
But that's
he doesn't look like the biggest guy in the world. Like,
well, he's tall. I mean, he's tall, and he's kind of he's got the V thing. He's got the large upper body, and he's got some pretty fun moves. He's got a really fun kind of like a flying forearm, I guess, or like a flying uppercut that he's using these days. I actually thought it might be a good candidate for an off the top rope move, or one of our first. Although we were kind of looking for something that did both to guys on the ground and standing.
Yeah.
Which I still think a moonsault would be
we need to do that though.
Yeah, I have no idea. I still think a moonsault would be a good candidate.
Yeah, that's true.
But any of those flipping, you probably don't want to do like a Phoenix or anything like that. Some of those splashes. I want something like me. If I'm, me personally, I'm looking for it. I want a big, just something I can just launch myself into a standing opponent that's either dazed or something. But
I don't think these will be too tough to do.
What was it that you were working on? I'm kind of trying to catch Chad up a little bit. We've been, in terms of the development, one of the things that has kind of been high priority has been trying to get the back grapples going, and so that involves a lot of transition type things so that you can transfer from a traditional front grapple to a back grapple position, and then trying to figure out what move is going to be kind of maybe the strong grapple, because you guys gave me a really good list to work from last week in chat, and Cola's been animating. What you kind of animated like almost like a wrestler throw, like a wrestler takedown, like an amateur takedown.
It was kind of yeah, that's a good description. just like a takedown, some sort of.
You guys have all seen it, you know, and when you get a couple of amateur type wrestlers where they'll jump behind and then just kind of like pick them up and kind of throw them down, you know, kind of chest and face first, just kind of a takedown. It's not a real high impact type of a move, but it's more like kind of a setup or just kind of trying to gain position to throw them in a headlock or something.
Yeah.
You could call it a belly to back takedown. Dave is trying to make that justification. For me, I call it an amateur takedown because that seems like the context that I've seen it in. Belly to back seems a little bit more like a suplex type of a thing.
Well, I was thinking like, what is a belly to back suplex then? If that's not it, because it kind of made sense when Dave had, you know.
Well, I guess I would call a belly to back. Well, see, a belly to back seems more like a German. You know, where it's like an overhead throw. You know.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, though. I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, waist lock takedown. Yep, I can see that.
I can show them.
Yeah.
I can show them the GIF, and then we can see what they think, because they seem to have, you know, the guys in chat seem to have a good grasp.
We got somebody who actually used to wrestle. Freestyle belly to back takedown. Yeah, hang on. He's gonna pop it open here, and he'll show it to you.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, WWE the Jawas. That's gonna be hard to say. New roster. Hope we get the new record with 563 plus belonging to Skate. What he's referring to is during our Kickstarter campaign, we were trying to incentivize people for creating characters for us, and we were going to try to break the record of like playable characters in a game. Yeah, see what you think of this here, chat. I said, to me, this seems more like, well, boy, now that I look at it again, it does have a lot more high impact. But I'd call it a waist lock.
Normally, like in the reference, they would hang on to it and then, you know, float over and do a headlock or something like that.
Yep.
But we kind of need them to just kind of let go, and then so you can do whatever you want to do. So that's why it's a little more slammy.
Takedown, yeah, but it is a slam though, because it really is like the impact on the chest. He's coming almost straight down.
Yeah,
that's actually, I don't know if I've ever seen that before, where it's coming straight down like that. Usually it's like more of a flat landing when it's the amateur takedown. This almost looks like a pretty brutal finisher.
Well,
see what
kind of embellish the front bump.
Well, that's all right. Yeah, the guy taking the move isn't getting his hand down. You might want to shoot a half pin and head alone. Yeah, basic suplex slide takedown. Yeah, looks great. Yeah, lots of suggestions there. But yeah, I think that looks tight. But anyway, that's showing you guys where we're headed, and he's also got a transition. You have a transition in there, right? Somewhere like the front to back grapple.
Oh yeah.
We could show them that cool. Too.
Back. Oh, there's front to back and then back to front.
Yeah, because that's all part of this stuff. Because what we're trying to do is you can't just do back grapples. We also want to make sure that you can kind of get to back grapples from any of the other positions. So it involves kind of creating a couple of transitions in between.
See, I think if you did this move first and then you went right into that other slam, it would be a cool looking little sequence. Hey?
Absolutely, especially if you were able to pull it off like with a quick grapple, where you did like because what would this be? Would this be like a tap of one of the shoulder buttons? To do
this? It's not really a move. It's just I think you'll just hit one of those like kind of utility buttons. It's kind of.
And then if you were able to just quick tap one of the buttons from there, you're already locked into the back grapple position. That would be a pretty sweet. That could be pretty sweet.
Yeah, if Robert if he lets you kind of punch in a command as soon as you're basically on that side of him, then you could do a really smooth transition to the
Yeah,
next
because
move.
what's interesting to me is like, okay, say for example, when you're in the front grapple position and you get there from a strong grapple, like if you sweep to the back, does that strong grapple still carry over? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it should. It should.
That would make the most sense to me. So it's like kind of whatever grapple set you up in the first place. Yep, the standing switch is what that is being referred to.
Oh,
as.
yeah,
That
that's right.
makes total sense. Thank you, chat.
We need to get them naming our stuff
Absolutely.
more accurately.
Well, no. See, that's the thing is, I am always my tendency, and I think we talked a little bit about this last week, is that I really like to stick to the scientific name of the move as much as possible. I think, like I said, things like Tombstone Piledriver has kind of been established as a scientific move, even though, I mean, it's kind of a tribute to Undertaker, yeah, but it's still known as a vertical pile driver, like it's called Tombstone. I mean, that's just what it's been called. Although I remember Magnificent Morocco used it back in the early 80s. And I can't remember if they had a special name for that or not. But I always like to try to find, standing switch, like things that are like scientific names. And it seems like WWE now is everything's got to be a branded, it can't just be, everything's got to be, Whisper in the Wind or whatever the hell some of this stuff is.
Yeah, exactly. You probably run into less. You don't want to run into any trouble of,
copyright
we
infringement.
can't use these.
Gimmick infringement.
Gimmick infringement. Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
Yeah, the other thing is none of this stuff is mocapped, guys. It's not motion captured. This is Alex or this is Cola studying the stuff on YouTube clips and various sources and just kind of going at it naturally.
For better or worse, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, I think. Well, no, I actually think the quality ends up being really good. I think when you spend so much time on what I'm going to call tracing, I think that actually ends up being, I think, a little bit more accurate for some of that kind of stuff than. Well, I don't know. I guess the mocap sometimes it looks overly.
Well, you still got to be.
You get how they're protecting the wrestlers in mocap, where you can see how they're protecting them, whereas here you can make it look like he's actually landing that particular move. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, that you can hurt them. You can really crunch on them. Yeah. But it's like mocap is it's like an art unto itself.
I don't know anything about it other than it's like ping pong balls.
Well, yeah. Well, there's like the raw data, right?
Right.
Which you capture it, and there's bugs and issues with it. But if I was watching like the game Soul Calibur, it's like a fighting game.
Yeah.
I was watching the behind the scenes, and like the animations are really awesome in that game. And they've mocapped stuff, and then they go in on top, and then they animate on top of it, and just make it look crazy.
Nice.
Like they just kind of use it as a start. And
well,
then they edit it.
That's what makes total sense to me. That makes total sense. I can buy into that. That it's not just it's giving you a head start. For me, it seems like I'd be worried that you're spending more time in cleanup than you would be like if you just ended up doing it yourself. You're doing it. What it seems like you're doing is like the traditional animation style where you're keyframing.
Yeah, it's very low tech. But I don't
know, man. Like I said, nothing looks. I mean, those old Disney movies and everything with just the hand drawn animation. I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. Some of the computer stuff looks too smooth to me. I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
They're all making fun of Dave here in chat again. It's just kind of funny. We had somebody that said that Dave is going to be looking to buy Kevin Nash's old knee on eBay, using that for his
old one,
his old knee, one of Kevin Nash's old knees. I think that cracked me up. I'm sorry. Hey, yeah, we got one of the people that's in chat. It's got to take off early, but yeah, we got a little late start tonight. It's all good. Dave may still yet make an appearance. Who knows? We have Slateboard. Is one type of animation better than the other? I'm assuming he means mocap versus the traditional. I'm going to call it hand drawn, but I know that's not the correct term. You know, handcrafted.
Hand keyed is.
There you go. Okay.
Looking for. I don't know. They're both depends who's doing it, I guess. Because you can get good results either way, but one is like, I don't know. They both have kind of a high skill gap. It's kind of it feels like apples and oranges to me. It's like.
Well, it almost wonders. Like, I mean, it seems like motion capture. Do you end up saving time in motion capture? Really, by the time it's all said and done, by the time you rent the studio, get the guy out there, have him run through 50 moves. You know, do you end up? Is it ends up being more efficient, or is it just more efficient to just start cutting loose and, you know?
Well, if you're not making the most like artistic game in the world, then what you do, the idea is you do the mocap and you capture everything, and then you have junior animators clean it up, right?
Gotcha.
So it's very cheap that way, but you're not going to get like, you know, award-winning animation, obviously, out of that. And then, you know, the right way to do it is to, you know, motion capture. I think like the big reason why motion capture I think is like really handy is like more performance capture. Like, so if you want Michael Jordan's exact dunk, you know, in the game, then you're going to have him go do it. You know, so
there may be
something to be
subtle.
said.
There may be little subtle differences that motion capture is going to pick up that, like, might slip by, like an animator that like who's hand keying it and it's not very good. There might be little subtle things, but I don't know. Like I said, I guess for me, it seems like if I'm looking at all like the 2K series of the games, both from the Maddens and the basketball and all this stuff, none of it looks right to me, and I'm sure all that is motion captured like crazy, and it doesn't look right. It doesn't look smooth. It looks herky jerky. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but so I definitely preferred like the old school way of doing it, where you're just kind of keyframing it. But I mean, that's more sprite based. Which is I mean, sure. I get that. But I guess that's just my generation. I guess I respond more to that. Those old Nintendo games feel more. They feel like playing Tecmo Bowl. Feels more real to me than playing the current batch of Madden games. It just doesn't. It feels more fluid. I don't know. It's not as visually appealing, obviously. I mean, you look at the screenshots of those things and they're gorgeous. But I don't know. They don't seem right to me. But
yeah, I don't know. I think it's because it's not natural to motion capture like little transitions that you need, you know, that you need in the game that. Like they have to flow perfectly from one animation to the next, right? Like that's just not a very organic way to move yourself, I guess. Like if I have no idea how it works in NFL, but like if you have to go from like, you know, the huddle, then you walk to the snap, and then you back up and you're in the shotgun or wherever, it's like they can't just record that whole motion and then capture all that, right? You have to record them in segments, so that way if you need to run to the huddle late in the game when you want to conserve the clock, you can run from the huddle to the snap, right? So you need to be able to like interchange everything, and it's like it's just not I don't know, it's just not natural for the talent to just, you know.
Dude, I gotta tell you, for being a Canadian, that was pretty good. You're actually dropping some football knowledge. I'm actually pretty impressed right now.
We do have Canadian football.
Oh, I'm familiar. I watched it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we get watch the old Argonauts play. I mean, it's you know, I'll usually end up watching like the Grey Cup finals because that's interesting. Football is football, and usually that is on when football is not, like the NFL's off season. And arenas, or not arena, but Canadian's fun because like, even a couple of the old guys like I think Doug Flutie played in the CFL for a little while, and there's a few other.
Oh, he was he was the man.
Doug Flutie was awesome in the NFL too. I was a big Flutie mark. So yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. It's pretty impressive.
I can't decide which rule set I I like more.
Well, it's getting to be really
the
hard.
four
I don't know if you follow all the concussion stuff with professional football, but there's a show here in our public broadcasting called Frontline that's been all about kind of monitoring concussions and all that kind of stuff, and they just came out with a new study that they examined. I think it was like 96 former NFL player brains, like they had passed away and they had donated their brains to science, and they had said that like they found that same disease that Benoit had, that CTE,
of course,
93 of the 96 or something like that. It was like 96% of the NFL players had it. And it's just crazy. It's absolutely insane. And I worry about the same thing for wrestlers because of all the impacts that they're taking. I honestly do believe WWE is trying to do right by them and do the concussion protocols and all that kind of stuff. And so I genuinely actually believe that. But boy, I worry about even the smaller hits that these guys are taking. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, none of it can't be good for you. I mean. It's just there's no way.
Yep. I guess.
Well, what might be kind of cool, like if someday the sport evolves to where these guys are wearing mouth guards and stuff like that, or even headgear, right? Because it might make it look more like a legitimate sport.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. They were talking about one of the ideas they had for making the NFL safer was to remove the helmets. And I thought, like, at first I thought that was really counterintuitive, and they was like, no, these guys are not going to be leading with their heads anymore. And they've done some studies, and they said it actually does reduce impacts because people play differently, and the way that they position themselves and how they hit and everything is totally different. I thought that was absolutely astonishing. I was like, wow, that's kind of an interesting idea. Would never have thought of that.
Well, it kind of takes like the onus off the NFL. You know, if a player decides to play aggressively, they're like, well, hey, we're not forcing them to play with their head forward. You know, it's like, well,
those guys suck. I can't stand the NFL. I love watching football. I love it, but the business of the NFL and those guys are just clowns.
Man, it's so terrible. It's so stupid.
They don't even pay any taxes. It's a non-profit. They make like hundreds of millions of dollars, and they don't pay a cent in taxes.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane. Oh man, I tell you,
it's annoying how the guy like beats up his wife in an elevator, and you have to like twist the NFL's arm to get them to like do anything.
Oh yeah.
But when deflate gate happens, it's like now you're.
And what's insane is I don't know how many NFL fans we've got in chat right now, but raise your hand if you're tired of DraftKings and FanDuel ads every 5 seconds in all these networks. They have fantasy football and all the gambling that goes along with fantasy football has gotten to be so out of control. And what sucks is Major League Baseball, the NFL, and ESPN, the big sports network here, all like bought a stake in this DraftKings, which is like it's online gambling. It's online gambling is what it is. And so literally you cannot escape these ads. They're everywhere. In every podcast I listen to, in every television show I listen to. They said it was like they're the number one advertiser in the country the last couple of weeks in terms of the most amount of ads or something like that. It's just insane. You cannot escape it. It's like, and then these leagues get all bent out of shape about gambling and all this stuff with their players. And it's like, well, how on earth can you? It's a total double standard,
Yeah, no, I hear it all the time. Anytime you watch anything sports, doesn't matter what it is.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I cannot get away from it. It's driving people crazy. But they just won't stop, and because they have such a huge stake in it. I mean, Major League Baseball is especially gross because they banned Pete Rose from baseball for gambling on the sport, and then they go and invest hundreds of millions of dollars in this gambling league. Are you kidding me? God, gross. I don't know. I suck with all that stuff. Every time I go to the casinos and stuff, I get just robbed blind. It's terrible.
Yeah. I'm not a very big gambler either.
I have gone. No,
bad at
I'm not going to say that. I've been on a few Thanksgivings, just out of like guilt, but because they're all Indian casinos around here. But that's always especially ironic. But yeah, they make so much money around here. It's insane. They paid off all their city loans, like something like 2 years early. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show. I'm going to fire up the screenshots.
Oh, wait, so we're going to go through the new ones?
I'm gonna pull open my my browser here and move to top. I think that's where it is. Oh, I thought it was window capture. Let's see. Where is it here? Oh, it's because the window is minimized. Let me open that up here. Yeah, I started doing this last week, kind of showing off some of the new screenshots that fans were coming up with, and you guys have been like this one guy Zeron. I got to give him all the credit in the world. He's got some really fun screenshots, and have been some putting forth some really creative efforts on this stuff. And so I was going to show off some of this stuff. This one, when I saw this one, Alex was your Colo's in here, and I just started laughing like crazy because this shot just cracked me up. Just like the blood everywhere. I was kind of waiting for somebody to do this, like have the whole ring covered in blood. Yeah, for some this is a ring. For me, this is a battlefield. I'm not afraid of painting with my opponent's blood. It's like, yep. And so we got a couple of different angles from this stuff. And I said I thought these were all pretty clever. Pretty clever screenshots. This one cracked me up, where he's just like bouncing the ropes. He managed to capture the guy kind of bouncing the rope. Yeah, it's good stuff. There's a couple in here that I really liked. Like this one's a pretty unusual shot. You don't see this perspective that often. This one is when they're mid grapple and they're looking up from underneath. It looks pretty cool. I thought this one was cool. Yeah, because he's catching them in poses that are kind of accidental, and then kind of creating fun little captions around them. It's pretty cool. Got one mid taunt. That's pretty sweet looking.
To make some memes.
Well, really, it's pretty fun. I think this one's my favorite. I'm actually faving this one. I think this is a pretty cool. Oh, you must be shut up. You must be logged in. All right, I'll log in later. But I think this one's pretty sweet because he's got like this grimace on his face after he slams him. I think this is a pretty sweet shot. Pretty sweet. Oh, this one's just a mess. So you guys are digging the blood. Sorry, Zeron's digging the blood. Oh, this one's just horrifying. This one's horrifying. Drop kick. He's got one that's a drop kick point of view. This is not Zeron. This is a guy named Scaredalicious. That's a pretty good shot. I don't know how he got that one. Are you seeing this one?
I'm waiting. I'm watching it on Twitch, so
okay.
There's a bit of a delay, but
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're probably.
Oh, that's hilarious! It's like a barefoot.
Yeah, that's
have
great.
you ever seen How to Basic? Have you ever seen How to Basic?
How to Basic? No.
Well, watch it after the stream, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
By the barefoot.
Oh, you know what? I'll bet I without even looking it up, I'll bet I know exactly what it is. I'll bet I know exactly what it is. Is that the kung fu movies where they like run and then they show like the legs like extending out as they're zooming in?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. It's no.
Okay.
It's not as classy.
Well, because that was an old people who are older, they would know old kung fu movies, and that was like kind of a gimmick in a couple of those goofy kung fu movies where the guy would like run, and you'd see him like, you know, they put like the guy on a dolly or something that like zoom right in like he was like on a line, you know, kicking him, and it would kind of look exactly like that as the guy was kicking him. It's pretty funny. Dude, this is a sweet shot right here. Did we have the Hook'em Horns in the game? The Hail Satan as the taunt?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's Gerador.
I don't ever taunt, so I wow, this is a cool shot too. Look at this one. Sorry, just allow me to like mark out here a little bit. See, this is why I'm so fired up about this screenshot tool. I think this is just can really open up a lot of creativity. I can't wait to see more. And he's finding some good stuff. Excellent. Okay, so I'm pretty caught up now. But yeah, nice job, gang. That's keep them coming. I think I showed you guys how to do that a little bit last week, so you can always go back to the older Twitch and check it out. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, keep those. Yeah, keep those things coming because. So I'll definitely check those out once a week for sure, and check out the new cool ones. And as we start getting more and more content and more stuff, I'm going to tease a little bit of a big update that's coming your way. And I can't give you too much because I don't want to like oversell it or anything like that. But it's like the next level again. You guys are going to mark out when you see the screenshots for sure. And I haven't seen anything in real, like in game action yet, but just some of the stuff that our boy Robert's been cooking up. Yeah, you guys are going to mark out like crazy. So I got to get caught up on chat here. Yep, a lot of people liked the first-person drop kick. That was cool. So that's awesome. Yeah, Kevin Von Erich, man, barefoot style, totally. Let me see what Dave's up to here. Where is he at? No, I haven't heard anything from him in a little bit. He's probably not going to be able to make it. He's all fired up though. He's been waiting for this knee surgery for quite some time. He's been just this crippled, you know, just a mess. I keep calling him Professor Pro Wrestling X because I feel like he's going to be wheelchair bound, you know, all the time. But in fact, he had a stretch there where I think he was for a little bit. But so he's pretty fired up. I guess they said like the November 2nd or something like that is going to be when he's going into the knife. He thinks anyway. So see, I'll keep our fingers crossed for the brother here. Get himself a new knee or something. I think he's looking for a replacement. I assume that's what he's doing. Will the game have intergender wrestling? You bet. You bet. We're big proponents of not only just like intergender, but just like, you know, women's wrestling in general. There are not going to be any divas, none of that crap in our game. We like the actual women wrestlers. So yeah, I have no problems with intergender stuff. It gets a little. I can see the beef, and I can understand the point of view about, you know, domestic violence and all that kind of stuff, and so I totally respect that. But I think as long as the women are empowered, that's at least where I think our heart is anyway. We're not trying to do anything, you know. I think that's where we're coming from anyway. So.
It's a weird thing. Like,
it's a big controversy in the wrestling Twitter world. You've got Jim Cornette and a few other traditionalists have been beefing with a few of the new school guys like Joey Ryan and some of those guys. And, you know, like I said, I think it's all different takes. I think it's how it's positioned, and if it's considered a battle of equals, I think that feels okay to me. I can be entertained by that. I have been entertained by that. But I think there's a line. I remember it's a wrestler named Candice LeRae, who was partners with Joey Ryan, and they called themselves the world's cutest tag team. And they took on the Young Bucks at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla in kind of like a hardcore match. And she gigged hard, and the Bucks were not kind. Like, I don't think it wasn't mean-spirited, like they were not trying to, you know, be over the top, but one of the moves that they came up with was like a super kick with the boot was like thumbtacked on the bottom. and they gave her this kick, and it was freaking brutal. It was bad, and she was a mess. And I was kind of like, okay, you know what? That felt like the line to me. Like, that was just not... I don't even like it when it's two guys doing that stuff with the heavy juice. So that made me really uncomfortable. I didn't like that. I thought that was kind of out of bounds. But I don't know if it's just, if it's kind of done more entertainment or a comedy type match. I'm all for it. And like I said, I've seen a couple of good ones. I've seen a couple of really good ones. In fact, Candice wrestled Johnny Gargano, which is her fiance now, in a couple of matches, and they were hard-hitting matches. And he would sell for her like $1 million, and it was an entertaining match. So I don't know if I can, I don't know. Like I said, I think there's a line there, maybe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you get into, like, stuff that is literally violence, I guess.
Well, because what I worry about is the screenshots. Some dude, like, beating the crap out of a woman. Like, that gives me some pause. So I can at least... I think it's... Let's put it this way. Maybe it's at least worthy of a discussion that we need to talk about with our fans. Because we're trying to be all
you look at Avengers and stuff. It was like, do you compare it to Mortal Kombat and like Street Fighter and that kind of thing, that kind of entertainment, or do you compare it to like UFC where you don't want to see that kind of thing?
Yep, it's a very right. Like I said, I can respect the debate, and like I said, I want to make sure. Like I said, this is something like I would even consult. I could even see dropping an email to some of the some of the people that kind of champion against that stuff. Whatever your opinion is of some of the feminist gaming and stuff. I've been really educated on some of their videos about some of the stereotypes and some of the tropes and stuff. And like I said, I would want to try to do it as right by them as possible. So I don't know. Like I said, my instinct is to say yes, it's golden, but I can also respect the other side of it, where things could be taken out of context. Where like I said, the screenshots start popping up, and it's just, hey, this video game allows men to beat on women as much as they want, and I can definitely
because the game could, like Dave's always, he wants us to be as hardcore and violent as you want it to be, right? So there's nothing stopping anybody from, doing all that stuff to the female characters in the game. And
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I am not a smart enough person to know, and being a white male, I can only go, I can only appreciate, like I said, I respect all that stuff, and I'm fairly liberal when it comes to a lot of that stuff, but I can't start talking about what's going to be offensive to women, being a stupid white male. You know what I mean? I can't. There's we need more opinions, and we need more expert kind of advice on something like that, on how to proceed on something like that. But like I said, I'm not about to start puffing up my chest and saying, hey, this is totally going to be not offensive if we explain it right and all that stuff. Nope. I think we gotta ask some hard questions and kind of see where things land with something like that. Just try to keep a dialogue. We've always been pretty open and honest with our fans about all that stuff, and I'm sure that's going to be a debate. So
yeah, maybe just put the right disclaimer on. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's what it is. Like I said, I'm not smart enough to come up with a solution to all this stuff on the fly and on the spot in a chat. Well, I'm sure at some point somebody will hold me to something, 2 years from now. But like I said, I can tell you my instincts.
About it as much. I mean, like, look at what Grand Theft Auto does. Like, there you can kill a hooker and all that stuff.
I hear you.
We don't have to worry about that.
I try to. I don't know. I just, like I said, I try to come at it just trying to be respectful of all opinions when it comes to stuff like that. And
sure.
Like I said, I definitely can see. And I get it. I that's not even like I wouldn't even be like, well, I can kind of see the no. I totally get it. You start seeing screenshots pop up like what we just showed, where you've got a guy wrestler and then the woman's just sitting there bleeding to death, Is that gonna? Are we gonna be able to kind of scrub that stuff from Steam forums and stuff like that? I have no idea. I don't know, because people are gonna do it, and I don't think it's necessarily their intent to kind of promote abuse and all that kind of stuff. But somebody could easily get a hold of that and say something one way or the other. So I don't know. Future debate.
Well, have you seen the fatalities in the new Mortal Kombat game?
Yeah,
you can cut people right in half.
It's crazy. Well, I remember what was it? They put this was at last year's Super Bowl promotion. They had Marshawn Lynch face Gronkowski, the tight end from Patriots, in like a sneak preview of the game. And when they did the fatality, like Marshawn Lynch, he just like his jaw dropped. It's like, oh my god, that's so gross. Like he was like grossed out by it. And I was like, holy crap, they're getting pretty extreme with some of that stuff,
Oh, they are, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Well, it just seems like that's kind of what you have to keep. That's why I think things start getting in trouble, is because everybody's kind of got to keep outdoing each other, and then at some point you figure a line is crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm kind of catching up. They all raise good points. I mean, like I said, it's all part of this stuff. So it's just an interesting debate. Like I said, I think the debate is healthy. That doesn't bother me a little bit. I think talking about it is good. I think it's the only thing you really can do is try to just be respectful of all sides and just try to keep talking with everybody. I think that's the only way to do it. It's trying to be all Captain PR about it and trying to spin things and trying to do whatever. I don't think that ever works. I think you guys know us pretty well, that we're about as genuine as it gets, and we're all for female empowerment. We said we want our women wrestlers to kick ass and not be little bimbo divas that just bounce around the ring. We want actual female athletes, and so it would be coming from a place of respect. But like I said, you just gotta be careful these days. So we shall see. But what else is on your mind tonight, chat? Yeah, we've got some talk about who the next wrestler is going to be in the lineup after Grimhold gets finished off, and that I have no idea at this point. We had talked about kind of kicking around and rebooting Dane, which is a name that you guys will probably remember if you've been with us for some time. He's he would be our first unmasked character, and he's had a lot of different iterations over the years, and I think that would be kind of fun to play around with.
I'd like to hit somebody who's unmasked. I think it'd be worthwhile to do that. I think a character from the old game, so my second kind of what I would like. And then I'd also like somebody who has a different style, like someone that brings something else to the table, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if those are my three kind of. If you can check off all three, then that's who I think we should.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember a little bit. We had I'm trying to remember the Uprising lineup, and chat might even remember this better than I have. But we had Dane. I think Dane was in there. Yeah, Dane was in there in Uprising. At least I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. We had a guy named Troop, who was kind of like a real freakazoid military type. He had real weird looking skin. We had Casey, who was our first female character. We had Tirador. We had a guy named G-Rush, who was kind of like, if you think Ahmed Johnson, combined with the Ultimate Warrior, is kind of what he looked like. Oh God, boy, this is bad. I'm trying to remember all these characters now. But yeah, I think Dane would be the most logical choice, and I don't know what kind of a style we give Dane, because I think he was always kind of in the same mode, where it's kind of like an AJ, a little bit more acrobatic, a little bit more, kind of a short, stocky kind of a power guy. But maybe we can, make him more of a shoot fighter. Maybe we can make him. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind a hardcore or type of guy.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. But yeah, it's the what's astonishing is, like I said, once you guys start seeing some of the new experimental stuff coming down the pipeline, it's pretty exciting. The game is really going to start. We're not. I always expected it to take these little incremental leaps and bounds. I never figured these giant updates where all of a sudden now we have like a basic creator wrestler working. I never even imagined that in a million years. And so, you hear me say it every week, but all credit to Robert for just God, kicking butt all over the place with this stuff. And so I've always thought, oh yeah, just slow and steady wins the race. Just these little tiny changes every week. And God, what the hell do I know? Jeez. Just go ahead and ignore me. Just keep doing what you're doing, brother. Because so once we get some of the additional stuff, like the back grapples, I think is really going to round out the game. Top rope moves are really going to round out the game, and I think we're kind of down to running attacks, and that's pretty much it in terms of putting a nail in it for 1.0 anyway.
For that 1.0 list, yeah. It would be nice to, I was going to bring this up, but on Trello, maybe one or all of us should just write down everything that, like, art-related that I would need to produce for 1.0. So,
You've got your checklist, yep.
Yeah, whatever animations are left, you got to get to the top rope, you got to jump, you got to do a move or two.
It's probably not a bad idea to start kind of combining that, kind of getting that final checklist, because that'd be nice to kind of help you work with some of that stuff.
Yeah, to prioritize what I got to do.
Because I've always struggled with kind of workflow, and that's kind of the nature of the beast. Like I said, that's kind of giving you guys a little bit of background. I have tried in a couple of different ways. To try to figure out like workflows and stuff, and try to provide more structure to some of this stuff. But it seems like our team functions better where it's a little looser. Or at least that's kind of the gut instinct that's that I'm kind of getting from people, is that sometimes structure can be really kind of controlling and refined. And I think as long as like maybe one person is keeping track of the checklist, that's cool. But trying to force 4 people who really all work in different ways to try to work the same way, I think it just doesn't work. I don't think. And so that's kind of been hard for me to come around in the last 2 to 3 years even. Just to try to, my instinct is build a machine, build a process, something nice, build the machinery, and it's just it's hard when that doesn't work. But I'm starting to learn to let go. I mean, like I said, you have to let artists do what they do, and
we kind of go in waves. Like there'll be a while where we'll be really on top of our Jira and updating it, or not our Jira, but our Trello. Mm-hmm. And then we'll kind of just be going like hardcore producing content for a while and forget about it. And
well, that's kind of what I figured would be my job, would to be just like even if it's just me building internal checklists so that somebody on the team kind of knew where we were at. I think that makes the most sense. That way you cats can just cut loose and do what you do, and I can just, hey, the next step, maybe do this thing, and go from there. But I'm sure this is really exciting for all of our chat people to really hear about how the inner workings of pro wrestling. Sorry guys, it was a slow chat night here tonight. Like I said, we didn't. We're kind of in between the next major update that our boy Robert's working on. So you're getting a lot of artwork tonight, and but that's okay. We still like hanging out with you guys, and it's you guys ask good questions and you raise good topics and you're smart with all that kind of stuff. So. what are your thoughts about the 4 horsewomen not being in WWE 16? I gotta tell you, okay, I'm gonna hop on my little soapbox really quick to kind of give you guys some background. There's different definitions of the 4 horsewomen. You have the ones that are the UFC women fighters that have already kind of gotten there first. But WWE kind of teased it on one of the NXT shows maybe a month ago. It was the one where I think it was Charlotte versus Sasha, and they had a it was Sasha, where Sasha lost the title to Bayley. I think it was in Brooklyn. And Charlotte came out and Becky Lynch came out, and they kind of flashed a 4 horsewomen kind of a thing going on. But to make a long story short, Sasha is not in the game. I don't think Becky Lynch is in the game, and I'm not even sure Charlotte's in the game. And so kind of like their 3 top rising stars for women wrestling is not in 2K16. Now, my theory is they're saving them for downloadable content and they're going to charge you for it later. That is my theory. I don't necessarily view it as a snub, but rather something that people may pay for down the road. But I could also just be, I have no idea. Other than that, it's surprising to me. The only other thing I can think of is that they just don't have the motion captures or something, like they don't have the art assets for those women yet. And they're probably trying to rush to put that thing to, get that thing out the door anyway. Those games take 2 years to make, and even if they come out every year, they just appeared in WB and not NXT. So I can get that. I can make that. I can buy that. Yeah, Arachnid Soul, you ought to look up NXT. If you're more of a fan of the older school, more wrestling type. If you're more like, I don't want to call it Ring of Honor style. It's just more action, more action, more wrestling, less gimmicky crap. NXT has done a really, really bang up job with products that are with the product that's really interesting, and I think it's completely indicative of Triple H's leadership versus Vince's leadership. And I think if Triple H ends up getting the baton passed to him down the road, I think wrestling's going to be all right. I think Triple H gets it. For as much as I've beefed on that guy, over the years, I think he genuinely does understand kind of what I'm calling the current generation of wrestling fans and what they're looking for in a wrestling product. And it kind of shows you what happens when the women get called up to Raw, and then they're just treated like divas again. I think that's the difference between Triple H leadership and Vince leadership. So,
hey Eric, I'll be right back.
All right, cool. Yeah, Arachnid Soul, kind of giving you a little bit of background. They've been pulling a lot of NXT's been pulling a lot of the indie stars. Guys like Prince Nevitt, I think was his former name, from over in Japan. They got him and they redubbed him Finn Balor. They've got like Kevin Steen, who I'm sure you probably have heard of for Ring of Honor. He got called up and got renamed Kevin Owens, and he's actually on the main roster now. They're trying to make a pretty good point of grabbing some of these indie guys and kind of coaching them up in the WWE style, meaning, learning how to work on a TV show, learning how to manipulate, work with a sound studio, and giving them kind of an overall package and stuff. So it's been, NXT is a pretty fun product to watch. So you ought to look them up. You gotta look them up. I hear that they want NXT to compete with ROH. It's an easy argument to make. Especially when they start booking head-to-head in different towns and all that kind of stuff. I think there could be some politics involved. I don't know. There are parts of NXT that I really enjoy. I really enjoy the in-ring action, and I really like it when NXT goes on the road, like their show in Brooklyn. But I think in the sound studio it feels too polished. Like the crowd is too self-aware and they're kind of marking out for themselves more so than marking out for the wrestlers, and it just feels like they know they're on a TV show and are acting accordingly. Whereas when you actually get in a real arena, like the reactions feel a lot more organic. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but that's the one thing that kind of irks me a little bit about NXT is that when it's in Full Sail University, it's just so polished and so pristine, and the crowd reacts exactly as they're supposed to, and it just doesn't feel very natural to me. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that, but the in-ring action is phenomenal. And Ring of Honor we got some chatting about Ring of Honor and its quality. I enjoy Ring of Honor. I really do. I think a lot of the wrestlers are really good workers. My only beef with Ring of Honor is that the match endings have become so ridiculous. So many kickouts of finishers. So many moves that you would think, okay, that guy is clearly dead, and he kicks out at 2. Even like the mid-card guys. And I think you really have to start saving those a little bit. And even it's starting to bleed into WWE now. When you know you have a massive pay-per-view, it feels like it all started with Undertaker and HBK a few years back, where they just kind of kept kicking out of each other's stuff, and it was genuinely surprising. Now it's almost a shock. Like John Cena just pinned Seth Rollins on Raw with a single AA, and that hasn't been done in forever. And so that's my only beef with Ring of Honor, is that I think the match endings have just gotten to be so ridiculous that it's hard to buy into a false finish sometimes. But the in-ring action is still phenomenal. I still enjoy it. I'm going to see them live on October 23rd when they come to my hometown. They had a really great event here a year ago, and it was the most fun I had at a wrestling event in years. So, yeah, just kind of catching up with chat. Yeah, just an interesting debate. I'm like I said, it's fun listening to all that stuff, for sure. I'm a fan of pretty much all. I'm somebody who likes a lot of different styles. One of the best things, and you guys have probably heard me, if you subscribe to our newsletter and if you've kind of heard some of our Twitch broadcasts before, one of the indie wrestling leagues, I think it was Beyond Wrestling, or kind of in partner with Smart Mark Video, they did something called Raw Alternative, or Raw Alternative, where they, on Monday night, they opened up their YouTube channel and streamed live tons of like 6 or 7 or maybe even more than that, back to back indie matches from various feds from around, all over the continent. It was wonderful. They had some that were comedy, they had some that were intergender, they had some that were only women, they had some that were just really physical, hard hitting, some that were, like I said, more comedy or more aerial type, and it was so cool because it was literally, it would be like 10 different takes on professional wrestling, all different styles, all different. I loved watching all the different arenas because I would sit there thinking to myself, how would Pro Wrestling X handle this arena? Wow, this is cool. This is down in like a little bingo hall, and you can actually look up at the ceiling tile and see the people that donated money to the building were kind of commemorated in ceiling tiles. And I thought, wow, that's a really, really cool look. How cool would that be to be a ring like this in Pro Wrestling X? And they would have shows that were in bars, where they have 2-level bars and a ring in the middle of it, and the fans don't even have seats. They just fill the surrounding ring with fans, and that was a really cool look. And so for me, I think it's just about, I really enjoy the different variety of the different leagues and all that stuff. So I think the more styles that are out there, cool. I'm never going to call one better than the other. I think it's all entertainment, and I like the variety. So
Hey.
Hey, what's up? Just got good debate going about Ring of Honor and TNA and WWE and all this stuff. It's a fun debate tonight.
Oh, cool.
It's about all I got here for tonight. I'm running out of topics. Like I said, it was kind of I call it a slow news day. But yeah, just like I said, we got some fun stuff coming down the pipeline, and we can't wait to show them to you. Like I said, we've seen the preliminary screens, and God, you guys are gonna freak out because I freaked out, and so we can't wait to show them to you. But
so what do we need for 1.0? Do we need to be able to walk outside? That's something
I think I'm trying to. That may be one of those things that I would think you'd be able to enter and exit the ring. Maybe not do like I know apron moves are not on the list, but I would think you'd have to be able to enter and exit the ring so that you could do mat moves. I think that would be. It seems like a fairly reasonable request for 1.0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Holy crap! We've been broadcasting for an hour and 20 minutes.
It's been a long time, yeah.
Wow, I did know. It's not God. No wonder my voice was starting to go, and it's like, what the hell? What's wrong with me? Like, nope, we're at 1:16. So, when do we find out about the new? I'm assuming he's talking about the new features. I'm going to give you the world's worst answer soon. I can't give it to you anyway. Yeah. Until we get all the bugs worked out and all that kind of stuff. We don't know just yet because because one of the things is now that we're starting to add more and more and more, we have to start worrying about things like efficiency and memory and all that kind of stuff. And so we can't just start launching all these wonderful new features if it means it's going to bog the rest of the game down. So part of the process is, as we're going along, we have to try to think of ways to optimize things to make sure that we're not grinding things to a halt. So yeah, I'm really sorry. Soon is the word. It is the world's worst. Yeah. Yep, it's the world's worst answer. I hate it, but the definition of soon now versus the definition of soon 6 months ago is two totally different leagues. So, if you guys can just hang with us and be patient, it's coming, and it's being worked on. So,
I think this is the first time it's been a Tuesday, and we actually haven't had a new bill.
We didn't have one last week. Yeah, we didn't have one last week.
No?
Nope. Because I kind of just tried to go through and show them how to do some of the new features, and some of that went, hey, so okay, here's where the screenshot directory is. Oops, I forgot. That's not where they actually. So I went through this 10-minute thing of like explaining where the screenshots were, and I like, okay, and then when you click this folder, here they are, and then the folder was empty. I'm like, God damn it! I felt like a moron.
That's always how it goes, eh?
Well, it's because I was running my Steam copy and not my local copy off my hard drive. It's a long story, but they got it. They understood. Clearly somebody's finding them. Clearly Xeron. Yeah. Xeron is finding them.
Yeah, ask Xeron.
Yeah, that's right. Look up Xeron on Steam and ask him where this stuff is. The hell, we were already taking so much shit for not explaining how our controls work. That thread the other day when Dave posted the picture, and then he posted somebody posted the response with you probably don't watch Community, but there's a character named Chang, and I show Community, and he's like squinting looking at this little tiny piece of paper, and I just started laughing out loud because that was the perfect response to that screen. And that is not me bagging on Robert. It's just like I have not provided him with a cleaned up version of that to where it's actually readable. So that's on me. That's not making fun of Robert. That is just him doing what he can to try to get something out the door for us. But it's just, boy, it's really unreadable. And so we've actually just pushed a video to our YouTube channel, our official YouTube channel, that Dave does an over-the-shoulder video walking everybody through how the controls work, and I'm going to see if we can't actually embed that in the game itself. I know you can do it, but I thought that might be a really good way also to kind of communicate how to actually play the game, not just with a standard screen, but maybe showing a video how to do it too. So I don't know. Food for thought.
It's hard because there's a lot of, it kind of changes depending on.
You're absolutely
like
right.
what's going on in the game. Yeah,
that is absolutely true, which is also why I was like, well, maybe that's not the best
You need a manual.
Well, what I need to do is I need to get off my butt and get the stupid Pro Wrestling X website rebuilt, and then have a wiki or a controls thing that can just be updated every time we update the game. But that would require somebody with brains and talent and free time, and I'm currently lacking in all of these things right now. So I'll do it soon. I'll get to it soon. I got to come up for air on my day job, and life and all this stuff. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And I mean, honestly, when 1.0 hits, that's when it's time to hit pedal to the metal and really start promoting this thing. We've always been a little bit gun shy in promoting the game, just because there was a point at which it was just so unfinished that we were like, God, I don't want this to be somebody's first impression of Pro Wrestling X, but we're getting a pretty good product out the door, and I feel pretty proud of this thing. So it's not much farther than until we really be able to turn it loose and start getting the game in the hands of some prominent YouTubers, and hopefully telling a lot of those people who told us we were idiots to shut up already. So all right, gang, I've had enough. How about you? No offense to my voice is starting to go, and I'm sure everybody's starting to get bored.
Yeah, it's been a long one, but that's good though.
Yeah, this is fun. I enjoy this tremendously. It's good to touch base with all you guys, and you guys asked great questions, and we had some good debate and some stuff tonight, and it's going to be stuff we're going to be coming around again for sure. And so we'll definitely want your input along the way. So like I said, this will be my final plugs for if you're joining us for the first time. ProWrestlingX.com. Sign up on our weekly newsletter, blah, 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 blah. You guys have heard this a million times. You can favorite this channel, so you'll be alerted when we broadcast. We usually are shooting for Tuesday nights around 10 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern time. Find us on Twitter at ProWrestlingX. Find us on Facebook, ProWrestlingX. Keep spreading the word. Find us on Steam. And if you have yet to do so, please leave a review. All those really help us out, and if you've got bug reports or if you've got things that you're finding, by all means, we're checking those things all the time. Our developer Robert is reading those forums, and he's finding the bugs and squashing them before we can even get to them. So tell your friends, buy 8 copies each. Is that cheap? Is that bad? Am I being a jerk? I'm probably being a jerk, but
well, if you were maybe serious.
Yeah.
It's
all good. But like I said, it's if you've got friends that are into this stuff, like I said, we're starting to get a game that's really starting to get really tight, and like I said, pretty soon it's going to be there. So so definitely, and thank you. We got a lot of people in our chat tonight that go way back with us to like 2005, and that is the best thing in the world to see you guys that have stuck with us for so long and put up with so much crap, and just giving us the love and support. I'm telling you, that's it's what's kept us going all these years. So it's really, really cool for you guys to keep checking in with us. So Ralph, if you look on our Facebook page, I think that animation for that front grapple and is actually on Facebook right now. I'm not sure about that, but if not, I'll get Dave cranking on it for sure. So cool, gang. Anything else you want to add here, Mr. Cola?
I don't know. Not really, I guess.
Copies of the game?
Keep I don't know. Keep brainstorming those strong I don't know. I'll probably get to that this weekend. I don't know if we have time to do a formal poll on the strong back grapple stuff.
Yeah, you know, I might talk Dave into doing that on the newsletter this week. He's always kind of looking for content and stuff. So, you know.
Well, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, like that other grapple. Once I get to actually doing the moves, you know, like transitions take a while, but the moves, you know, I can kind of get done in an evening if I have a solid evening to do it. So, you know, I may even get it done, but before we have a chance to do a formal grapple or a formal.
Well, hey, it's all good, and
you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Either way, like I said, it's all good, and like I said, the most important thing is to get the mechanic in place. So.
Yeah, so I guess I really have nothing to add.
Yeah, thanks for cutting.
I don't know.
Well, like I said, So what's the tat of? Just while we're wrapping up here, what are you envisioning here? This is a beast. Look at this thing.
I just wanted to do like a scary looking tree on this side.
A tree. And look at that. Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, so it's kind of growing out of. There's a bit of ground here.
See,
I think I might.
Yeah, I wish I had some artistic talent. I have some, but not at this level. This is tight. So.
And then so I'll just continue that up here and then stop around there. And then I think the other side I'll do something else, maybe like a cemetery or something.
Cool.
Something with some like some brick, I think, like because like a Grimhold is it's like prison, you know, it's like a medieval prison. So
okay.
I'm thinking maybe something thematic like that.
Cool.
Something spooky.
Rock and roll, man.
I think it'll add to the character. Anywho,
cool.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Hey, well, thanks guys for hanging out with us tonight. We're gonna call it a wrap. You guys got bonus content tonight, I guess. And here was complaining that I had nothing to talk about, and I looked down at the screen. It was like 1 hour and 20 minutes. I'm like, what? How did we do that? So I think I got off on some pretty weird tangents, but hey, that's all right. So appreciate it as always, guys, and yeah, we'll see you down the road. Thanks.